Welcome back to Next Generation. We are currently redoing our kitchen island area and we got some new bar stools. They're beautiful. I'll link them below if you're interested, but it's a lot of wood going on.
Yes.
So we're gonna do an accent wall on the kitchen island so we can kind of give some contrast to this area.
This is gonna look really good. I'm excited. It's gonna be a nice addition.
So instead of just your traditional shiplap wall, which we have a video on how we did that,
Came out great.
we wanted to do something a little bit different in this area since you'll be able to see the shiplap wall pretty close by. We didn't want to have the same accent wall going on here. We chose, I think it's called herringbone or chevron pattern. And you can either do them up like a V or facing down like an A, like Richard likes to say. So we're going with the V.
All right.
Is that what we went with?
We did go with the V.
Yes.
We wanted our boards pointing down.
Yep.
Up.
That's step one of this DIY, deciding your design, the size that you would like, measuring everything out, and planning how much material you're gonna need.
All right, so for this DIY, you will need MDF boards, wood glue, and a nail gun.
And then whatever paint, stain, I don't know if you can stain this.
I would not recommend staining.
So the first thing we did was draw out the center line of the wall so we know where everything needs to line up.
And if it works out like it did for us, you can just mimic what you did on one side. So every time you cut a board, you'll cut two of those and you will just work your way up,
yes,
which
so
is great.
It's a mirrored design.
Yep. So we took a scrap piece of wood and we lined it up on the corner where we already have 145-degree angle cut, so that this way we could figure out how long we needed our first board to cut the other 45-degree angle.
So you're basically just gonna make a line on the board exactly where to cut it on our middle line that we made at the beginning. So we used a speed square so we can get a perfect 45-degree angle. We're using a scrap board first just to see if this method works.
Yeah, we don't want to waste any material, so trial and error with the scrap wood, and then we'll do it for real.
Yes. So once you have your first board cut to size, you can now make that cut on the MDF board that we're using for the DIY. And we just did it 2 times because our wall is exactly the same on both sides. So cutting 2 of those, and once you have your first piece, you need to decide what spacing that you'd like between your boards. We decided to go with the thickness of the MDF boards. So we just have one little tiny piece that we're gonna use in between each panel, so they're the exact same spacing between each other.
Which ended up being about a 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
So it looks really good. That's so funny. So, okay, you know, right.
I can't stop laughing.
You're so annoying, I swear.
All right, I'm done.
Okay. So now that we have a method that works for measuring our boards, we're gonna continue this process until we fill up the entire space. And I covered your face.
Oh no.
Fill up, goodbye. As you cut your boards, I recommend attaching them to the wall. This helps with measuring. It helps to make sure everything's lined up. You don't want to cut everything and then go to put it on the wall and things don't line up, or maybe you get your boards out of order and things get crazy. Who knows what could happen?
We've done it all.
Yeah, but we didn't do that. So I recommend attaching them as you go because it worked for us.
And the way we did that is we just added some liquid nails on the back of each panel and then used our nail gun because we're not putting them into studs. If you put your boards into studs, you don't have to add the liquid nails. So once you have all of your angled panels up on the wall, we're gonna measure each trim board and cut them to size and hang them on the wall. We're gonna do 1 on each side, 1 in the middle, and then 1 at the bottom. Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? The wall now goes down. Bloop. And now with these boards, we can mark right on the back against the wall where we need to make our cuts. We don't even have to measure. How easy is that? And for this first board, since it doesn't line up in place where we need, the space is obviously a lot bigger, we're just going to line it up and then cut a little bit of the tip right off of the top so that it's flush on the top and the side. So you're only gonna be doing that for 1 of your boards. If it falls in a spot like this, simple solution. As you can see, all of our cuts are not very perfect, and the reason being is because we're gonna add a trim board over it.
Yep, you're not even gonna see it. It's gonna cover all the mistakes.
Yeah.
Wow, what an upgrade. I love it. I can't wait to paint it.
Me too.
I love it. So I really like the way the panels look on the wall. I hope you guys do too. We're ready to start priming.
Yep.
So guess what? We're gonna prime.
And at this moment, I realized that we didn't caulk our holes.
Oh.
So you'll see a little primer on the wall, and now I'm gonna stop and caulk all of the holes and then sand them, which this didn't take very long. I just forgot.
Good thing you caught it before you started painting over the holes.
It would have been noticeable.
That would have been annoying.
Once you're done caulking and sanding everything, you want to wipe it down with a wet rag to get everything off and nice and clean so it's ready for paint. And now we can paint.
I bet you never would have guessed what color we chose.
What do you think?
Tricorn black. Ooh, what a surprise, huh? It's gonna look good though. It fits the area perfect. But what I recommend, because we have these small little 1/4-inch spaces, is take your brush all of your spaces, your gaps, your frame boards, and then come back and roll the flat surface. It'll just look so much better, and that way you'll roll out any drips that you had from the brush if you're not perfect with the brush like we are not, okay? But this is my recommendation. Trust me here.
Yeah. I do recommend a smaller roller and a
yeah.
smaller brush. We had just a standard size, I guess.
Unless you're gonna do a really big space,
Yes.
but if you're gonna do
I
something...
struggled. Like this brush was so much thicker than what I
man.
would have wanted that I was like shoving it into the hole and ruining the brush basically. And the roller was kind of hard because I couldn't roll it very well on our trim boards because they're only 4 inches and the roller is like this big. So that would make your life a lot easier. I mean, it works as you can see. I mean, I'm doing it, but it wasn't easy.
We went through this process so that we could share our tips with y'all to make your life easier.
You can also use painter's tape along all of the edges so you don't get paint everywhere, but you know, I didn't have time for that. But also, paint wipes off pretty easily, so
Well, it's wet.
as you can see, you can just wipe right off, and I got it all over our baseboards. It's okay, it wipes right off.
I think I'm ready to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the bar.
The final moment, final reveal.
I've now found my new place. The bar, because I love it. I love the vibe. I like the dark wall. I like how it takes away from all of the wood that was kind of going on here, darkens the space, but the wood kind of lightens the space, so it's a nice contrast. Yeah, it is. I love it.
How do you guys like it? Do you love it?
Are you gonna go and do this?
You should.
Post pictures and tag us.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye guys.